Okay, so let's look at work first, mainly because of all the Pentacles situation coming in. And I feel that, work is going to be slow. It's just going to be a little tedious for this entire month. However, a lot of you might have received a raise or a financial windfall. And I feel that's coming in very early on, like especially the first half of April. So, on the work front, things are definitely gelling. I don't have negative people in your midst anymore on the work front, okay? What I would definitely advise is this. If there is something you're hoping to launch, it would be very important for you to basically, I would say, hold off until the 21st when the sun is in the sign of Taurus for things to actually, get be implemented, and especially to get the proper reception and the proper accolades that you need from the 21st on when the sun is in a constellation of a more stable energy. It would be the best time for you to do that, okay? Mainly because I do see like a lack of clarity coming in from the 1st to the 21st of this month. Another thing I would advise is for those of you who are dealing with air signs, male or female, there might be, two people that are related to each other, two people that are very similar in style. They might be different genders, but not, the way they think is very similar, and the way their philosophical outlooks, their advice that they're giving you, it is very important not to take other people's advice, because I do feel that they're going to steer you in the wrong direction, okay, especially if it is coming from an air sign. So be very careful about that. I do feel that it could be relationship oriented. It could be regarding how you should invest your money and how you can devote your energy and your resources. But I feel that it is strongly linked with money situation. I don't feel very strongly that they're in your work environment, but they are giving you advice on how to best invest your money. So I don't sense that they're bad people at all, but their advice might be a little premature, and at the same time I don't feel they understand the situation on how best to invest the money. I don't feel that they have a lot of depth in knowledge when it comes to this. So be a little more discerning and discriminate when people just randomly throw you advice and they tell you what you should and should not do with your money, okay? That's the only major problem that I see for this month. Everything else looks very positive because you do have the Magician and the Strength card, both in the upright position. And with the Moon too, the Moon could be a hit or a miss. For an Earth sign, it might be a miss. But at the same time, the three major Arcana cards are coming up in the upright position. So I'm looking at this as the energy of the major Arcana cards, like right here, overrides the rest of the other cards, mainly because they're so potent and they're coming in to help you. So these are like positive influences in your life. So this month is not going to be a difficult month for you at all. I know February was, but March and especially this month, it looks very stable actually. So the one thing I would say with the Magician in the upright position, you do have a lot of abundance and you do have the power to really manifest things, but it is very important for you to do this on your own. And I feel like a lot of solitary cards here, which indicates to me that you should really trust yourself, have faith in your own capabilities. And I know that with a lot of Virgos, you are very, very hard worker. You're very competent. A lot of Virgos are perfectionistic at work, and they appreciate a job well done and a job that is done thoroughly. And a lot of employers appreciate that in a Virgo employee. So on the work front, you do have a lot of capabilities. It's all a matter of like overcoming your self-doubt and overcoming the lack that you feel about your intelligence and your capabilities, because you are very, very capable. But you tend to fall under to like you tend to suffer from like what I'm sensing is like a little bit of insecurity. So don't let that get the best of you. And especially because of that, you're more susceptible to other people giving you opinions where they're not experts. So if they're not experts, take it with a grain of salt and, try to do your research rather than listening to external people when they don't really have full knowledge and full information. Okay. So just be careful about that. But, and in terms of patience too, you're an earth sign as well. And what I would say is investment opportunities, especially investments made based on the advice of other people, are not going to, if you have already done it in the past and you're, waiting for the outcome, I don't feel the outcome is going to be favorable. So moving forward, it is very important for you to really like think this through the next time you plan to invest, and going about it your own way would be fine. I feel that you're new in this situation as well, so you feel that okay, I should heed the advice of people who've done this before. But just because they've done it and it works out for them, it might just be a lucky streak rather than any type of ingenuity or any type of insights that they might have to offer you. And I just feel in general that if it is an investment opportunity, I don't feel that it's going to be appropriate for you because each person operates in their own way. So whatever they're advising you, especially because they're an air sign, they have very good intuition. So they might make choices based on deep-rooted intuition rather than anything that they've learned by the books or any type of textbook type of knowledge that they can dispense that would be applicable to everyone. So keep that in mind when you take advice. Just know how much of it is really luck, intuition from their end, rather than, sweeping generalizations that would apply to all people involved. Okay. Overall though, I do sense that you are very level-headed when it comes to money. So trust your own instinct, trust your own gut, and try to be solitary this month. Okay. Let me see what else is coming in. Okay, so for those of you who are also, I kept reading like a fire sign coming in from the previous month, and it's a younger energy. What I do sense is this: for those of you who are dealing with like a fire sign in a romantic situation, the fire sign is going to be going through some things, some like emotional upsets, and you're going to have to be there to basically kind of like soothe the beast, basically. So you're going to have to play mediator in this situation, and you're going to have to provide a little more insight in order to put things into perspective for this person. So you're taking on, I wouldn't say maternal because that sounds like condescending, but you're the wise one in this situation. You have a lot of wisdom. So you're going to have to be able to, put things into perspective for this person, because I feel that they are a little bit hot-headed and they're lashing out at people, everyone involved in problems that they're dealing with, rather than taking a more mature and a more standoffish approach. So you being, the shoulder for them to lean on, and you being there to soothe away the anger and the frustration and the hurt that they're feeling, you're going to be a very beneficial influence in their lives. Okay. For those of you who are dealing with like air signs in general, just be a little careful. But I do feel that you might have, like I have the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords both in the reverse position. And what I'm sensing is like these are friendships. Even if you are romantically linked with them somehow, what I do sense is it's a situation in which, there are rumors or things circulating in their midst, and you're kind of troubled by them. You're keeping focus at work, but I do feel like there are just like rumors and just like gossip and story. They're not about you, but they're about other people, but they're just circulating around, and you're like you're jumping the gun a little bit if you really take stock into what they're saying. Okay, so don't do that, because I don't feel that they know what they're talking about either. If you're romantically linked with them, let the dust settle before you make any type of decisions, because I do feel new information will come to light. And at the same time, if you have total faith and trust in your partner, don't let outsiders influence your perception of your partner. Okay, because I feel like relying on your intuition would be very good this month. And this is next to the two greater cards too, and they're all in the upright position. So trust your instinct. You know who you're dating, and I feel that Virgos are very, very picky about who you date. So if you put somebody, if you make the other person jump through hoops for you before you get romantically involved with them, I feel that's enough of a screening process. So at this point, you should know who is right for you, who's good for you, who's faithful, and who's truthful. So go with your instincts and don't let anything else get in the way of that, okay? Let me see what else I can pick up here. Okay, so yeah, so finances are going to be like your financial situation, especially financial gains, are going to be enough for you to sustain yourself this month, and you're going to be quite happy. I do feel that that financial gain is kind of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it's a large sum of money, and I feel that you're going to be very satisfied. But at the same time, a lot of you might have like extended family members, or you might have people that are really close to you who are a little bit of moochers, and they're not very ambitious, and they're going to see your financial gain as their financial gain, and they're going to um, overstep your boundaries in that regard and expect you to give out, okay? So I feel like it is a financial gain, but it's a double-edged sword in that most of it is not going directly to you because you're using it and you're dispensing it out to help other people, which is fine if you decide to do that. But make sure you hold back a little bit for yourself, mainly because you're a very kind sign, and I feel that you might not be discriminate enough about who you're giving your money to, okay? So this same message would also apply to those who are dealing with air signs, and the air signs are like looking to you as an investor or looking to you for like a financial handout. Be very careful because they're not completely honest with you what they're going to do with that money. So I would strongly, strongly advise you to yeah, take some time to really assess and ask them some questions. I feel that you're a little too easy when it comes to helping other people, that you're not asking the important questions. So that would be the only thing. But in general, I just feel that work is going to be a big a major like overarching energy for this entire month, and you're happily going along with the work environment, and you're keeping your head down, you're staying focused, and it's kind of like whistling while you work, like you're very immersed in the process. So I wouldn't say it's a major complaint, but at the same time, like finding a way for you to be able to somehow work outside, or to get away from the office type of environment would be very beneficial for your mental health. And I feel very strongly, like don't stay dormant too much, because I do see a sense of dormancy with this card that might have a negative like impact on you down the line. So in general, just try to incorporate the outdoors somehow, or take some time off on the weekends and go out, because it's going to bring you like a lot of newness, and it's going to really replenish, like refresh your emotional and mental health, okay? um yeah, so just be very careful about who you're giving money out to, because I feel that you are very kind and you want to be helpful in this situation. But people are not completely discriminate, and they have a sense of entitlement, which is never a good thing. When people just feel that they're entitled to things that they haven't worked for. So and because they know that they can always count on you, so be really careful about that, and try to balance out what you give out, and you always have to retain a little piece for yourself, not in the spirit of like selfishness or anything like that, but it is your financial gain, and it is within your right to do whatever you choose. So don't feel obligated, and especially don't help people who are not willing to help themselves, especially those who feel entitled to have a piece of your action and have to like who are entitled to a handout, because you've worked really hard for this financial windfall, and you should be the one benefiting from it, rather than people who sit on the sidelines and, pine at their station in life and haven't really tried to do anything to better themselves. And I feel that they are going to squander the money that you give them, and they're not going to hold themselves accountable for its investment or anything like that. Okay, that would be my only thing. And this card came in very early in the month, so I would definitely say be very discriminating. You're overlooking a lot of things and a lot of flaws in people. And I know Virgos are, in general, like, you are aware of a lot of flaws in people, and you try to suppress it because you want to be open-minded and you want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. And especially for those who are like very evolved Virgos, you really want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but deep down you have a very good ju- read on people and their motives. But in certain, at certain times, you really want to try to suppress the judgment within yourself in order to really help other people. And I feel like that's totally fine. If anything, it's going to give you like a good, karmic balance. But at the same time, I feel like you're not discriminate enough for this month when it comes to judging other people, and especially like judging the type of information that is filtering through to you for this month. So just be on the lookout for that, okay? I can't stress it enough, mainly because it's coming in so early on in the month, and then you're not discriminated enough, and then you're giving out a lot of money. And just as long as you're not giving out on more than you have, and I feel that's not going to be a problem with you. But I do feel with the moon here is, lack of discretion here, lack of discrimination and lack of discretion. And I feel like you are very helpful and you want to help, but be discerning, okay? And I don't want to be like, I don't want to just keep reiterating this message, but I feel, yeah, it is coming in very strongly. So this is something that you're going to have to grapple with for the throughout the month of April, okay? But everything else looks very good. New projects, try to implement them after the 21st of this month. And let's see. Okay, for those of you who are dealing with children too, I would say, let's see this. Okay, so your child has the best intentions, okay, but they don't really know the right route to take when it comes to like achieving their goals and setting like a path for themselves. So the best way I would approach this is have them make checklists, like to-do lists and checklists, and then check themselves off as they go. And that would be like the best advice to dispense to your child if you have a child in your midst who you're dealing with. Let's see. If your child is an air sign, though, I would say, tell him or her to put all plans into a halt. Okay, so halt all things right now, because I do sense that they are approaching things from a they're going in the wrong direction altogether. Only if your child is an air sign, okay? So keep that in mind. I want to like see if there's any like romance I can pull out of these cards, but the cards are coming up pretty dry. So let me see about single Virgos especially. So those in established or long relationships, I do feel that your partner is going to rely on you this month to be the mediator, and especially to be the voice of reason in this situation. So you're going to be called upon to soothe, the anger and the frustration, okay? As for single Virgos, so let's look at coupled Virgos again. So yeah, the home life situation, if you're in a living together type of environment with your loved ones, the home life is going to be destabilized, okay? So it's mainly people are getting angry. Your spouse or your significant other or the person you're in a stable relationship with, they see that you're really nice, and they feel that you're being taken advantage of. So that's why they're so angry. Like, they're angry on your behalf. and you have to really soothe them. So that's going to be, you know, thrown off, like the that relationship might be destabilized, but it's nothing that you can't fix, you know. So I feel that they are trying to help you out. They are being very angry, and they're lashing out at the people that are taking advantage of you, or the people that are dishonest with you in general. And for those of you who are single, I do feel that if you are single and not, and you know, you're dating a few people here, you're dealing with like a lot of people who have like who might be divorcee, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the divorced people, they come with quite a little bit of emotional baggage. I don't feel that you're meeting a lot of single people, or nor do you think that the single people are like dateable just yet, because they're a little bit younger than you and they're not like completely honest. But you might be dealing with people who have relationships, okay, in the past, who might be going through like legal disputes, separation, divorce, and things like that. And then it feels like their problems become your problems, and then it becomes like a very like you become drawn into their problems. So be careful about that. It doesn't mean they're good or bad people. It's just, you know, these are things that they have to sort out on their own, and but then they're revealing a little too much about themselves, and then you can't really help but take on the burden of other people. So please don't do that. It's not your place, and you're going to get dragged down with their lessons and problems that have they should have tried to handle on their own, rather than, you know, smearing their, or like airing their dirty laundry out in public, kind of like that. So they might overstep their boundaries a little bit in that regard. So don't get sucked in, okay? So overall, April looks very good on the financial front, and for those in stable relationship, it looks good too. For singles, be very discriminate, okay?